easily sit in Padmasana or half Padmasana, do that now. If your knees or backs are not liking this, stay crossing your legs, simple crossing of your legs. Have some height on the hips so that the hips can easily go down. So you're there. Yes, I got you. Right. Out the hips down and take the buttock flesh out and back. So you're sitting on the sharpest edge of the sitting bones. And from there, take a deep inhalation, breath, lift the sides of the body, lengthen the neck, roll the shoulders back and down, and start. First of all, start releasing the gaze. So even though we're all facing the monitor at the moment, you want to start thinking that there is no monitor, that you are in an actual class where the teacher is in person and you can go within. So start the journey within from the gaze of the eyes. If you're not ready to close your eyes, that's fine. Just lower the gaze without lowering the head or chest and take the attention towards you. Open the collarbones. You can rest the hands softly on your thighs for a moment, and then we will take them to the chest. But first, you want to stay with your elbows slightly bent. Revolve the upper arms from the inside out. Lift the spine. And as we have been working for the last couple of weeks, take the interior side of your breastbone up so the organic body can also lift and expand. It's not just the exterior side of the structure, it's the inside, the organs and the bones. Then we'll take the upper arms once more and bring the palms to the chest, the palms together, thumbs to sternum, and press the heels of the hands, press the knuckles of your fingers. Try to press more on the indexes rather than the pinky fingers so that the indexes can relax the trapezius. Notice or experiment there and then. If you press more on the little fingers, you will notice that the front of the body contracts. But if you feel that you can push the indexes on the index knuckles together, notice how that releases tension in the bit of neck that joins the shoulders. Soften the abdomen, lift the chest, exhale completely. Take a deeper inhalation than before. And let's all chant. Inhale, lift the chest, bring the head down. Keep the lift in the chest as you drop the back of the palms on the sides. And then with an inhalation, lift the chin, the chest, and open your eyes. Someone else is joining. So if you were in Padmasana, be gentle when you come out of it. Take one leg, take the other leg, and stretch the legs in front of you. Take the back of the knees to the floor. You can also comb the calf muscles away from you with your hands, and then get ready to, hi Harriet, hello. Get ready with the bolster and the blanket. And if you have difficulty taking the feet closer to your buttocks, then take a belt. Otherwise, you don't need a belt. But let me show you. So I put the blanket on top of the bolster, just like a little pillow. Supta Baddha Konasana. The idea is to start lifting the chest, but the chin will be slightly turned down. So I don't really want to create a chin lock, but my chin will be lower than my nose. That's why I want that pillow. If you don't have a blanket handy, you can certainly take a foam pad. Now, what happens with the belts? If you have trouble keeping the legs close to your crotch, put a belt in front of your ankles, draw the outer edges of the ankles in towards you from the belt, and then you lie flat. When you lie flat, make sure you are approximately 3 to 4 fingers away from the bolster, so there's a little gap to rotate the buttocks away. Yeah, I just thought I saw someone else trying to join in. Whoops. Okay. No. Right. Let's take the body down. Whilst you are down and before you adjust your Supta Baddha Konasana, lengthen the tailbone, lengthen the top of the buttock flesh away towards the heels. Readjust with the belt if you have belts, otherwise keep the heels coming up. Press the center of the heels into one another and revolve the thighs. Then make sure that your pillow is also protecting your neck. So the pillow comes all the way to the shoulder tips. And then turn the upper arms from the inside out. Take the hands to the floor at either side of you. And as you have adjusted the pillow, surely your nose is going to be a bit higher than your chin. What you want to avoid is again that same action of the chest and the chin and the neck, of looking up into like a screen or something like that. So let's get working. Lengthen the top of the buttock flesh away, even if you're not using your hands anymore. Relax the jaw. Hi Tom, if you're there, I cannot see you, but anyway, we're in Supta Baddha Konasana. Feet together, knees apart. We have a bolster and we have a pillow for the head. So now, back of the palms on the ground. Hopefully, you are aligned to the center of the bolster, even if the bolster is a very rounded shape. So you want to press the center of the spine, the lumbar spine, and the tailbone in towards the bolster. That's why I was saying it's useful to have the sticky mat and the belt sometimes, so the feet are not coming away from their position. And then turn the upper arms from the inside out. Open the chest. Soften the abdomen. So what we're trying to create is absolute softness in the lower abdomen, from one hip bone to the other, and then roll the chest up. The bit of body of trunk connecting the ribs and the abdomen, so my diaphragm area, the heart area, or exactly where we had the thumbs a moment ago, has to help you lift the chest more. However you want to lift, from the top of the chest, the bit of chest near your body, near your head, as opposed to the bit of chest near your ribs, near your floating ribs. So close your eyes, lengthen the back of the head, and start inhaling from the heels along the spine. It's almost like the pelvis is tilted slightly towards my navel. But with a very soft abdomen, you want to draw the energy all the way up to the top of the chest. And once you've reached the top of the chest, again rotate the upper arms. You can move the upper arms. You are allowed to move the upper arms. Let the shoulder blades slide along the bolster and evenly press down on it so the arms and the top of the chest can lift more. And then as you exhale, try and keep that lift in the ribs, in the top of the ribs and collarbones, and empty the lungs. Soften the abdomen once more. Do that one more time. Inhale. Feel that you're inhaling along the back of your body, along the spine. When you reach the top of the spine near the head, spread from the C7, so that's the vertebra of the neck that shoots out the most, from the C7 out to the shoulders. Turn the upper arms. And then, is your face relaxed? Is your chin lower than the nose? Lengthen the back of the head once more. Relax the jaw. And then, very gently, we will bring the hands to the outer thighs. Support your thighs with your hands and close the legs up. And then, of course, you're in a lot of height. So when you roll over onto the right-hand side, you want to hold your head with your right arm or with your right hand, like a little pillow. Then press the left hand on the ground and come up. So, following something very similar to this, we're now going to come to Supta Virasana. So, for this, I have got the bolster. But for those of us who have dodgy knees or backs that are not going to like this, bear with me and I'll give you a variation. Otherwise, one blanket or a brick will go under the bolster and the other blanket will come as a seat. Of course, you can replace this blanket for a foam pad and this blanket for a brick. I will still have a belt. The belt will be across the back of my knees. I am showing this for those of us who can stay in this asana. If you cannot stay in this asana, bear with me and I will give you another one to practice. So I am sitting on that first blanket or first foam pad. And again, this time around, you want to lengthen the tailbone to the back of the knees, as opposed to what we did this week, which was Parayakasana, remember? So knees together, feet apart, I'm coming to my elbows, and last of all, I am coming completely back to the bolster. You can prop the bolster up with as many bricks as you need. You can even put a chair on top of the bolster. The bolster on top of the chair. And pressing the shins down, then we will move the arms overhead. So Supta Virasana. For those of us who are stiffer in the knee joints, cross your legs. So simple crossing of your legs. Supi. If you need to put wedges underneath your hips, you can do that. So a very deep crossing. Notice that I have my feet really close to my outer hips. And then you go back into Supta Svastikasana, but keep a compacted swastikasana. You don't want to be flopping like in Baddha Konasana. We've just done that. Yeah? So, Supta Virasana with a belt behind your knees to open the knee joints, or Supta Swastikasana, crossing legs, bringing the feet super tight to your outer hips. Now, if we are in Supta Virasana, the feet are outside the buttocks, outside the hips. So, Lucy, if this is not okay for you, you simply cross your legs, yeah. Same thing with the bolster, same thing with the you can have as many pillows underneath the bolster as you want. And you will also be allowed to take the arms overhead. So let's come into Supta Virasana now. For those of you who are doing it, press the blades of the shin bones down. Your feet need to be sharp in Virasana. And then come onto your elbows, lift the buttock flesh, comb your buttock flesh towards the back of the knees, and lift the hip bones up. Before you go into full airplane mode, you've got to feel the lift of the hip bones to the navel, navel up to the chest. Keep rolling the thighs in towards one another. And it's a bit more complicated to keep softness across the lower abdomen in this position, but this is what we want to aim at. So first of all, the shape, and then see if you can find the repose on the pose or in the pose. Fold your elbows, hand to elbow, stretch the sides of the body and lengthen them away from you, over your head. You want the elbow tips to come all the way to the wall that you're going to see, the wall where your crown of the head is pointing. You can close your eyes and relax the gaze. I am aware that this is an excruciating asana, so bear with it. Bear with the pain. Breathe out into it. That's it. If you are there crossing arms, change the crossing of your elbows. If you are also crossing legs, change the crossing of your legs. Try to do that without jolting your brain. Now, tilt the pubic bone up towards the ribs. Pubic bone coming up to the ribs. So you want to tuck your tailbone. Lengthen the tailbone along the mat, away from your body, and bring the pubic bone closer to your navel. Open the chest. And one more time, this time around, we're breathing in from the outer hips. A moment ago, we were breathing in from the sacrum and tailbone. Now breathe from the outer hips all the way to the sides of the body, all the way to the elbows and beyond. Never mind the position of the legs. If when you're breathing in, you're in Supta Virasana, finish your inhalation by pressing on the shins, on the legs. If you're in Supta Svastikasana instead, grip your outer hips in. So first of all, we're going to come out, those of you who are in Supta Virasana. First, bring your hands down by the sides of your hips. And then take them either to the soles of your feet, bending your elbows, or to the mat. We're going to come up, keeping the head back. So first, lift the chest, push your hands down. Lift the chest, come up, come up, come up. And last of all, can you lift your head? Stay sitting there for a moment. And those of you in Supta Svastikasana, bring your hands to your thighs, close your legs up, and then we're all going to get together. The only thing is, we need to turn around so that the head will be on that much support for downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. So Very gently, do this very gently. Mind your Achilles tendons. Lucy, you can do this with legs as wide as your yoga mat, toes out of the mat, heels out of the mat. You can just have the thumbs and the big toes on it. Relax the head on top of the bolster. If this means that you need to bend your elbows, that's because you need more height. So rather than bending the elbows, we're using this downward dog to stretch the legs after such tremendous contraction. So instead of thinking about overloading the shoulders and arms, think about opening the Achilles tendons, opening the back of the knees, opening the creases of your buttocks, and then soften the abdomen and push the hands down. If you're too far away from your bolster with your head, hold the edges of the mat and pull strongly. So if you hold the edges of the mat, it's a little bit more intense on the wrists, but it's ever so satisfying for the shoulder blades and for the head and the cervical spine. Let the abdomen release your lower back. So for that, you are trying to send the buttocks to the heels, and as you're tilting the pelvis in that direction, the gut, the abdominal muscles, will come backwards to the waist, and then the lower back is broadened. We are now going to use exactly the same amount of equipment for child's pose. If you have bad knees today and child's pose is not for you, you can do child's pose on a chair. I will show you in a moment. Otherwise, bring your bolster all the way up towards the belly. If you don't have a bolster, it's fine to use a rolled up blanket, yeah? So again, Lucy, this should be good and beneficial for lower back. You want to take the also Sue pitch foot, even if you're not doing child's pose. I will show you how to do it on the mat, on the chair. So fold forward over the bolster. Elbows are bent, head to one side. So if you prefer to do it because of your lower back, if you prefer to do it on a chair, put the bolster on a chair. Put your buttocks on a chair, bolster on your lap, and go forward. Attach your hands to the wall. So you're doing child's pose, but your knees are not compressed. The rest of us, Adho Mukha Virasana. Knees apart, big toes together. Bring the bolster to the abdomen and then lie flat on it. Elbows on the floor, elbows bent. If you bring your left ear to the mat, your head will be turning to the right. So in the two previous asanas, we were extending the front of the body and expanding it. Now's the time to extend and expand the back. And usually the way we stand, the way we run, the way we just move around life creates more flexibility in the lumbar spine, which means we tend to bring the lumbar spine forward. With this bolster here, we're trying to bring again the gut, the muscles, the tissue backwards to the back of the waist. So we're broadening the lower back. And then as you inhale, instead of feeling that you're inhaling and lengthening, feel that you're inhaling and expanding, broadening. So from one hip to the other, from the kidney to the other, from the one rib to the other, and so on and so forth. So from shoulder blade to shoulder blade, from shoulder to shoulder, from elbow to elbow. It's almost like you're draping, the body is draping over the bolster. Feel that softness. And now if your head is tilted to one side, change to the other side very gently. And instead of us catching the bolster or having the hands, having the hands on the floor, bring the hands behind the heels. If you can, you will catch the heels. Otherwise, so I'm turning my head to the left and I am holding my heels, and then I can let the heels go and take the back of the palms to the floor, but the palms are facing backwards rather than taking the arms overhead. One more time as you inhale, feel that you are expanding from the tailbone to the two sitting bones, from the sacrum out to the lower waist, from the waist to the kidneys, from the center of your spine to the ribs, from the center of the chest out to the collarbones, from the thoracic spine to the shoulder blades. Expand from armpit to armpit, shoulder to shoulder. Spread the back of the neck as well, make it wide. Spread the connection between the back of your head and the spine. And then very gently, bring your hands to the sides of your knees. Bring the head down to face the bolster. And as we come up, we push the hands and come up one vertebra at a time without tensing the abdomen, lifting up the chest. And then can you open your eyes? So the following one is, we're going to basically cross legs in Svastikasana and come forwards. For people who have stiffer hips or stiffer knee joints, Upavishta Konasana, but it has to be quite a narrow one. So ideally, you're coming forwards to your bolster. Again, you can have a little bit of height. If you are really not feeling that flexible today, it's fine to have the chair. Look, the chair or a coffee table or something like that. So 2 hands onto the chair and the head will rest there. So you don't have to be puffing around with the bolster, with the bricks, with the blankets. Other people will be crossing legs in in Svastikasana, crossing legs deeply, crossing the feet all the way into my hips. Notice how one knee is much higher than the other. And then I go forwards, just like in child's pose. And then we will go to one side and to the other. Lucy, you will stay forward. Yeah? Buttocks on the floor, or on the blanket, or on the support you're using. Yeah? So first of all, you cross your legs unless you are going to do it in Upavishta Konasana, if you have bad knees or bad hips. Not bad, but stiffer. Second step, bring your bolster onto top of the thighs and down to floor, unless you need to bring it higher, in which case you put a brick or a blanket or something underneath it and then move forwards. This time around, try to put the nose on top of the mat. So, the blanket, the bolster. Once you have secured the bolster, take your hands down to the floor. Of course, if you're using the chair, fold the two elbows and use the head on top of the forearms. Rest there. If you are miles away from the chair and you feel, if you're miles away from the bolster and you really feel that this is not helping your lower back at all, bring more height, bring the chair, bring a pile of bricks. If you are feeling it in the outer hips, stay exhaling into the discomfort, and that is how we learn to stay still for longer. So use your exhalation breath to target the discomfort and sweep it away. As you exhale, make it softer, make it vanish slowly. Spread the back, spread the front. Find the repose in the pose. Relax the abdomen, relax the shoulders. That's it. I saw that, Sandy. Relax your jaw and gauge the quality of your breath now. Hopefully, with the previous exercises, we have been expanding or lengthening the duration of the breath, but at the same time, taking up more space, taking up more room, and in doing so, taking up more oxygen. We will have to disturb ourselves, but try not to disturb yourselves too much to change the crossing of the legs so that then you're even on both out hips. If you're in Upavista Konasana, stay exactly as you are. Change the crossing of your elbows only. Others, deep crossing of your legs. Once you have your head supported, extend the arms. You don't have to extend your arms super wide. You can have them by the sides. Relax the jaw once more. And then very, very gently, bring your hands near your knees. Push the hands down and up we come again, one vertebra at a time. So instead of us turning with the legs crossed, let us all extend the legs and create this Upavista Konasana. Very gentle. You don't want to open the legs so much that then they roll out or that we cannot tame them. So from here, the first thing we're going to do is place the bolster across your knee. Number one is elbows. If the elbows go to it, then you rest your head holding the chin. If you're more flexible, of course you will go down lower, and instead of having the bolster on the knee, you will have it on the shin. Arms out to the sides. Yeah? You decide that it's going to help twist. Lucy, you can do exactly the same thing forwards as we did before, but with the legs wider. Yeah? Instead of crossing legs, you do it with legs wide. So turn the body to the right and see if you can come up onto the bolster or the bolster on the bricks with your elbows. Extend the inner thigh Inner left side to the inner left knee to the inner left ankle, and lengthen away. If you're okay here with your elbows on the props, take your head to the chin, hands to the chin, and then rest there. You can rest with your eyes closed, holding your head, taking the left sitting bone to the ground. However, if that is not challenging enough for you and you want a better stretch of the lower back as well as the inner left groin, go down lower and you can place the forehead on the bolster on the props, two hands out to the sides. Whatever you are doing in this pose, you want a soft abdomen. Remember that the aim of today's game is to soften the area between the one hip bone and the other, releasing tension in the digestive system, releasing tension in the genitals, and preparing ourselves for a good night's sleep with no tension in the lower body. Keep extending the legs with kindness. There's no competition and there is no need to force anything. We're trying to relax the body. Gently bring your hands to the floor and come back up. And then we will take the equipment over to the other leg, whether it is on the thigh, on the knee, or a bit further away from you. Readjust the right leg. You're extending from inner knee to inner heel, and then out from the outer ankle to the outer knee, from the outer knee to the outer hip on the right side, yeah? Swing the body gently to the left, and then check if you can reach that bolster with your two elbows, and then rest your head on your hands. Maybe you can move the bolster a little further away, get a better stretch. Keep sitting the right sitting bone. Last of all, those of you who can, will take your forehead to the prop. Keep turning your body to the left, so you're aligning the breastbone to the left thigh, to the left knee, letting the lower back completely relax and give in. So as we are trying to relax the front of the lower abdomen, the lower abdomen itself, we also want to relax that same area at the back of the trunk, which is the area between the sacrum, the top of the buttocks, the outer hips, and the love handles. Okay. Inhale and come back up. Gently move the props out of the way. Use your hands to support your legs as you bring them together one more time. So the following action is Setu Bandha with a bolster. We will have, look at this, one blanket for my head, one blanket, folded blanket, or bricks, or the wall if you don't have the blankets. For the feet, and this bolster is going to be for the body, only for the body and the chest. Take a look. The belt is there Kate, Claire, I'd suggest using the belt. The belt is not super tight. It's around the top of my thighs, like 3/4 of the thighs up. Is the focus okay in this thing? Yeah. So I want the belt there so the legs are not rolling out and then my hips don't collapse that way. So the belt is going to help me open the groins. First, I start with my legs bent. I go back onto the bolster. My head is off already, but I can slide some more. So what I want ultimately is to have my head, my shoulders and my neck on the floor. And then, the legs up on height. The legs, the top of the legs, and the feet on height. So that's why if you don't have a blanket, you can have a couple of books, you can have a brick or a wall. But can you see the coiling of my armpit chest? The coiling of my armpit chest is much higher than the chin, much higher than the nose. The shoulders must be on the floor. So you have to slide off until you can feel the bolster, the tip end of your bolster hitting into the thoracic spine right between the shoulder blade tips. Then extend the back of the neck away from you, from the shoulders, and extend the shoulders away towards the heels away to the wall behind you. And then if this is not making your lower back happy, bend the legs and put the feet on the floor and the knees are going to be bent. And because you have the belt is going to hold. If you don't have a belt, don't worry, ignore it and roll the thighs in. Let me see what you're doing. Some of us are there already. That's it. Yes, move the furniture out of the way. There. Don't go any further, Tom. That's it. You want the center of the back to be pushed up. Roll the thighs from the outside in. The belt is doing quite a good job. And then turn the pectoral muscles, the shoulder tips, the upper arms from the inside out. So spread your chest. This should be the ultimate opening of the chest. And we're going to start inhaling and interrupting because I believe that by opening the chest so excessively as we are now, the capacity of the lungs is going to be larger. So first of all, adjust your buttocks, lengthen the buttocks to the heels. Roll the thighs in. Lengthen the neck in the opposite direction as your buttocks. Rest your hands by the sides, close your eyes. So exhale completely. Inhale, focus on the pubic bone and stop. Carry on inhaling, focus on the navel and stop. Carry on inhaling, focus on the center of your heart and stop. And then exhale completely. So those are the 3 main points. Soften the abdomen. Exhale completely. Inhale and focus on the pubic bone and pause. Carry on the same inhalation, focus on your navel and pause. And then carry on lifting, chest, center of your heart, pause. Exhale completely. We will add one more point, which is the top of the chest. If you need to go faster because of your own rhythm of breathing, then do so. Don't follow my instruction. Do this softly, slowly, and at your own capacity. We all have different capacities. So exhale completely. Inhale, pubic bone, pause. Inhale, navel, pause. Inhale, chest, pause. Inhale so much more to the top of the chest and lungs, pause, and then softly exhale. Let's do it one more time. Empty your lungs completely. Inhale, pause. Inhale, pause. Inhale, pause. Inhale to the top of your lungs, pause, and then exhale completely. Carry on inhaling and exhaling at your own rhythm with your eyes closed. Pulling the thighs. If you need to adjust your body in any capacity, just do that now. The difference between pranayama and breath work is, first of all, pranayama has different take on it. The ultimate aim of pranayama is not breathing more, but breathing less. So by using these interruptions of breath, we're training the lungs to calm the nervous system and to be quieter, softer, and longer in the periods of kumbhaka, which are the periods of retention, not the periods of deep inhalation or deep exhalation. So that's one of the main differences between breath work that is only based on inhaling and exhaling in different patterns and pranayama. The retention in pranayama is gained by utilizing the bandhas. The bandhas are locks of energy or breath. So these locks are like a switch in an electric circuit. You switch on and off depending on where you want to divert the current. And then in pranayama it's the same when you are using bandhas or locks, for example, Mula Bandha or Uddiyana Bandha or Jalandhara Bandha, which we have explored in the past. We're going to tap into them today, but one of them is in the lower abdomen, the other one is in the middle abdomen, and the other one is the chin lock. When you play around with those conduits, we can again gain more length and capacity, more volume in the inhalation process and the exhalation process. I'm going to give you a minute to come out of this and find your most comfortable shavasana. So first of all, bend your legs and you can either roll onto the side. If your bolster is too high, you can lift your buttocks and slide the bolster out of the way. You can cover yourself with more layers, use a pillow, use an eye pillow if you prefer, turn off the lights if you want to. I'm not going to adjust you in Shavasana, I will just call the instructions and hopefully you will follow. And if you snore, it's fine. For those of you who are new to the class, I usually close the class, the restorative class, without saying goodbyes. So, of course, I will announce that I'm leaving, but I will switch off so you can stay in the Shavasana for as long as you need. Okay. Lengthen the back of the neck before we go completely into the repose. Lengthen the tailbone away from the waist. Relax the jaw. Relax the tongue in your mouth. Find your moment of stillness. Feel in your body if you have created more space to breathe in and out. Be honest with yourself. And if you haven't, it's not an exam. It's not that you have to have achieved a deeper capacity or etc. I just want you to be aware of your breath. See that the abdomen is relaxed. See that the legs are relaxed. If you need to adjust, take your time to do that. Now inhale slowly, steadily, and deeply, observing the following points. Gradually broaden the chest from the floating ribs to the top ribs with the incoming breath. Avoid tightening the throat or make a rough sound with your throat. Keep the sternum lifted and do not inflate the organs of the abdomen. Fill the lungs from bottom to top and see that the incoming breath is 2 to 3 times longer than the exhalation. And at the end of the inhalation, a small pause will be experienced, indicating the completion of the inhalation. So exhale normally without effort. Although the exhalation is normal, it effortlessly becomes slightly deeper than normal when we are practicing pranayama. So observe the following as you exhale. Do not exhale with undue haste. Do not cave in the chest. So we will repeat these for 10 cycles. Inhale deeply from the bottom of the lungs to top of the lungs. Then exhale normally. Do that at your own pace. Don't expect the instructions. You know what you're doing now. Inhaling deeply. When you reach the top of your lungs, make sure you're softening the abdomen. And then exhale completely. When we focus on the longer inhalations, we tackle the low blood pressure, depression, inferiority feelings, fear complex, low vitality, and overall general weakness. Notice that you can go back to this very simple pranayama variation of deep inhaling whenever you want. You don't have to be in Shavasana. You can be in bed. You can be on the bus or on public transport, just trying to get the attention to your own self rather than to the world outside. Long, soft, smooth inhalations. Long, soft, smooth exhalations. I'm going to read a very sweet passage by Gita Iyengar on the nature of meditation. The experience of meditation is beyond description. It has to be personally experienced. Sugar has to be tasted to understand its sweetness, and its sweetness cannot be explained in words. So the following is a very small attempt to help you taste the sweetness of meditation or experience that which cannot be described in words. The body is often considered to be an insignificant factor in the practice of meditation, and this is erroneous. Our body is our vehicle. Without this vehicle, we cannot experience anything. It is the body that carries us to our destruction or to our self-realization. A vehicle that does not function well cannot take its owner anywhere. So also, we're sometimes at the crossroads in our journey when our vehicle, the body, does not work properly. When the body is weak, shaky, or in pain, meditation is not possible, and we have first to put it right by the practice of asana and pranayama before proceeding further in the path of meditative yoga. I will now switch off the recording and leave you in Shavasana. You will know how to come out of this, rolling over onto the right, and be very careful when you come into the awareness of the room again. So take your time to reconnect